Allan, the food dude's with us here on Memphis Morning News. Hello, Allan.
Good morning. How is everybody?
Hungry. We're ready to go.
Man, I was looking around at like 7 o'clock and I go, oh, it's Thursday.
Yes.
It's Food Dude Day. I got an idea, but before we do that, let's see what you got cooking here for
All
us.
right.
Allan.
Well, let's go for the reveal. So, as you always like to check, is it cold or warm?
It is warm.
It is warm. There we go. In honor of the lovely Italian festival we just had.
Oh, wow.
How about a nice stuffed shell? And you can just pick it up and use it like finger food, or I gave you forks and knives. And
This is good.
It's like street tacos.
Let me tell you
this,
something.
well, this
Looks
is
like a street taco.
Let me tell you, shout out real quick to the Italian Fest people. I was driving by there Sunday morning, and they were starting to clean up, and I drove by Marquette Park Sunday afternoon.
Cleaned up.
It's spotless.
It's gone.
I mean, other than the tent, spotless. So they get in there, and they
Not a
do it
can,
right.
not a bottle, not
Clean
a
it
piece
up.
of paper.
Yeah, it looked great.
Yeah, I was there at 8 o'clock in the morning with them. It was knocking it out. So, basically, what you are going with there is fundamentally a Italian marinara-based meatloaf. Just really simply, that's the best
Rolled up in a big
explanation.
shell.
Put in a big old shell, the big old manicotti style shells.
Like being in the old country.
Oh.
It's delicious.
Good.
You know, and this is one of those. Now, here's the twist to this, because this is good warm or cold, and it's a good portable food. Because again, we're summertime, lots of sports going on, lots of people running around doing stuff. You can make a tray of these the night before. I also find these transport easily in those deviled egg trays you haven't used in 5 years.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. You just put one in each little spot and off you go. So for those of you playing along here at home, it is just the big shell. You go ahead and pre-boil those, let them drain so they'll set up for you so they'll hold together good. The rest of the recipe is basically 2 to 3 cups of a marinara sauce or Roma tomatoes, or you guys are enjoying the Roma tomatoes right now.
It's good.
About a cup of mozzarella shreds
I would put,
and Italian sausage.
for my liking, maybe a little more cheese next time, Allan.
Make a little more cheese. I wasn't sure. I didn't want
Not
to.
too much, because
What-
you don't want,
How much cheese do real Italians? I mean, if I go over to Italy, I mean, I know no one's coming over to go, do you want cheese on that? And they grate it up like Olive Garden, where they shake it out of the shaker. But
where you just end up with cheese.
Well, yeah, there's a fine balancing act in this, because you do want that nice cheese flavor through it, but you don't want it to solidify into the I've been cooked cheese blob that happens with you've got too much cheese in a dish.
Oh, boy.
You know, we've all had that one mac and cheese that somebody got all fancy with and got like the 2 inches of cheese on the top, and you end up having a jackhammer through it later. So there's just kind of a fine line in there. So a little dash of Parmesan across the top, but here you have a nice, basically bite-sized food that you can tote around with you. Again, warm or cold, it'll work.
I make this manicotti that's just so delicious, but I don't do it because it takes me so long to stuff the shells, and I'm thinking this is a good way to cheat on it.
Yes. Yeah, well, you're sitting there trying to make the shotguns. You're trying to get all the way down in little thing. This one, putting it together. Now, overall cooking time, Ditch always wants to know. You're about an hour, because you got to make the stuffing, and that's. You can cheat and use a few pieces of bread, some marinara sauce, your Italian sausage, and your cheese. Get it all meatloafed together. But then you just take a nice big old tablespoon and right in the center of that shell, and now you're ready to put them in a casserole dish and bake them for about 30 minutes.
I love it. It's a great idea.
The problem with this is I'll eat too much of it, and then I'll be like comatose. If like you just gave us 2, if there was a whole thing of them here, I'd just.
There's another tray of them at home. It's okay.
No, that's my point. This Italian, I love Italian food. It is, it's hard to stop. Someone pull me away from the
But it's
table.
like Mexican food. You
Yeah.
really can't screw it up. I mean,
Yeah.
you can, but it's like it's hard.
And then you
Well,
wait a day or
when you
two, and
do
it's even
mess it
better.
up, it goes bad horribly.
Yeah.
But when you do go off the rails, but there's a lot of forgiveness. It's not like a really fussy, soft French cream sauce that if you don't get it just right, it's gonna die.
And you do have to boil the shell, I would think, or get it just right, because if it's not long enough, then you're gonna have a weird, almost dry texture to it. But then if you overdo it, then you've just lost the point of it being portable, haven't you?
Well, yeah. The trick is you got to let the shells drain, and the trick with pasta is you don't constantly keep cooking it. You don't just start from the dry pasta that you went and got at the store, because let's face it, nobody in their right mind makes their own pasta.
Right.
It's too cheap in the bag at the store.
Yeah, those shells. You didn't make those shells?
No.
You call yourself the food dude?
There's a shell garden in the backyard. You know what you ought to make? Speaking of French cooking, I mean, I know it's probably difficult, but a souffle. I've always heard about those when I was a kid. You'd hear about, if you yell too loud in the kitchen, isn't that the one that collapses?
Yeah.
I've never had one.
You want a souffle?
I'd like to try it. If it's not
there
too
you
much.
go. There's
And
a
then
challenge.
Ditch might bring in his
Jumbo come in,
gnocchi
you get a
next
souffle.
week.
Yeah, there's a
Is that
challenge.
portable souffle?
Yeah,
He's making gnocchi the other night.
Way. Yeah, you can make a souffle. Make it.
All right, there's Allan the food dude. Where do you get the information for this?
You can follow along with us at thecookingtodayshow.com and just go online and check us out.
And what are you calling this?
That one right there is just stuffed shells.
Stuffed shells. That's that's an original name. I like that.